An IMG Academy four-star defensive lineman looks to take a visit to Jackson State this fall. And you know what that means, or what it could mean, what it could potentially mean. Let's talk about it after the bumper. Stay tuned. My people, what is good? What is good, my people? My name is JeffLightsYJr. Here with the Black Boss Channel and Victor Formation. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and notification bell because we upload every single day. Now, Jackson State is hitting the trail hard. I remember when Tim Brewster was hired and joined the Jackson State staff, I said that the rich got richer when in terms of recruiting. Jackson State was already a premier recruiting team. Coach Prime and the guys that were already on the staff were already elite at recruiting. They landed Travis Hunter. They landed Kevin Coleman. They landed all the guys on their roster via the transfer portal or even the guys out of high school. Malachi Wideman, Aubrey Miller, Tony Gray, and the list goes on and on. And then they added Tim Brewster, who is one of the best recruiters, not at the FCS level. No. He's one of the best recruiters in all of college football, period. That was co-signed by a guy like Uncle Luke, who had a Little League program that saw some of the best players in South Florida be recruited by who? Tim Brewster. And Tim Brewster, I said that Florida pipeline, Coach Prime being from Florida, so he already has a special connection with young men from Florida, young athletes, young ballers out of the state of Florida. And bringing in a guy like Tim Brewster, who knows the state of Florida like the back of his hand and has recruited elite talent either to the state of Florida or out of the state of Florida, including Dalvin Cook to Florida State, who's from Florida, including Cal Pitts, who is from Pennsylvania, but down to the University of Florida, and et cetera. The list goes on and on. So when the Tim Brewster hire was made, we knew it was a big deal, and it's because Tim Brewster is going to get you into rooms that Prime and them were already getting into, but gives them an even better shot at some guys maybe they didn't have on the radar. And now he continues to prove his worth. He continues to validate his worth. And sooner than later, he's going to cash in on some of these guys who are considering JSU. And one of these guys goes by the name of Will Norman out of Camden, New Jersey, via IMG Academy, meaning he's from New Jersey, but he plays football at the prep school down IMG Academy, one of the best high school football teams in all of high school. They are consensus. They're always at the top. They're always one of the teams fighting for a national championship, including some of those teams out in the West Coast like St. Bosco and Mater Dei, et cetera, et cetera. So let me show you some Twitter headlines, and one is actually kind of old that I just missed. I don't know how I missed it, but I missed it. But then it got brought back up in August. It was originally made. One tweet was made in July. Another tweet was made in August. And I caught the second one, not the first one, but it is what it is. And now I'm updating you. So here was the first tweet. This tweet was made by On3, the newest recruiting site, back on July 20th. It says, four-star defensive lineman Will Norman tells Chad Simmons he hopes to visit Jackson State along with Tennessee, Penn State in the fall. He took one official visit this summer to Florida. Remember the Florida ties? This young man, Will Norman. So this was made back in July, and I was like, dang, this is an old article. How did I miss that? And, the article was paid. They try to get you to pay for the stuff. I don't got that subscription. But then again, 247 wrote their own article. Top 24/7 defensive lineman Will Norman outlines fall visit plans with Jackson State now in the mix. And so I saw that. So you saw one article that was made back on July 20th. This article was written in August. So I was like, dang, you keep seeing Jackson State. This young man must be serious about, visiting a game at Jackson State. Now, granted, I couldn't read the article because it was a paid subscription article. I don't got the subscription, et cetera, et cetera. But he must have said something in that article that was pretty pertinent. Or when he spoke to 247, he said something that caught their ear. Why do I say that? Well, if we go to the young men's, my favorite recruiting site is 247. And if you go to his 247 site, first of all, look what kind of prospect he is. He's a top 150 prospect in the country, according to their composite rankings, a top 25 defensive lineman, a top 35 player in the state of Florida, a state of Florida that produces just high level players, high level athletes. We know, I don't got to explain it. But once again, he's originally from Camden, New Jersey, from what I understand. 6'5", 290. We talk about the trenches play. We talk about the biggest differences between Jackson State and some of your best teams in all of college football, at least at the FCS level, and it's the frontline play. When they asked Prime, for whatever reason, about playing Alabama, he said, I don't got the big boys up front. A guy like Will Norman, 6'5", 290, he's a big boy up front. He's someone that could be a difference maker. He wreaks havoc at IMG Academy, once again, one of the top high school football programs in the entire country. Now, let's look at his list. Shout out to 247 because they got Jackson State on here. And what does it say? Warm. Jackson State. The interest level is a warm. There's also Florida, Tennessee, and Texas A&M who also have warm. But look who the primary recruiter is for Mr. Will Norman. None other than Tim Brewster. We said when Tim Brewster was hired, he would be a guy that gets you in on some high level recruits, some high level players, some guys that maybe, Jackson State maybe wasn't even looking at it first, and now they get a chance to get them. And the primary recruiter, the lead recruiter, is Mr. Tim Brewster, on a guy that's 6'5", 290 and a 4-star ranking and one of the top 150 high school football players in all of high school football in the country. Jackson State's going after him. Now, it's not a guarantee that you're going to land this young man. I'm only talking about it because he's a high-level prospect and he's considering Jackson State and he plans to take a visit during the fall. Now, you all, being the JSU fans, the JSU supporters, the HBCU fans, the HBCU supporters, you all can make a difference because I always reference this. But Travis Hunter was never, and we have to use Travis because he's the big man on campus. But Travis Hunter was never considering Jackson State. He got to campus. He got to the Alcorn game. He saw 50,000 people in the stands. He experienced it, and his life changed in an instant. And he ended up enrolling at Jackson State University, and now he is set to be one of them. He's one of the most anticipated, college football players maybe ever, going into a season, but especially in the modern day era, right? Like going to Jackson State. But it all started when he took that visit. It all started when he saw what the atmosphere was like when he got on campus. And Will Norman has already put it out there that he wants to take a visit to Jackson State. He hasn't just only told 247. He told another recruiting site back in July the same thing on 3, that he wanted to take a visit to Jackson State. And the atmosphere that he will see and he will feel at JSU will be nothing like Penn State, will be nothing like Tennessee. They'll have their own atmosphere and they'll have their own thing. I mean, there'll be 100,000 people, not 60, but 100,000 people at those games, but it won't be the same. And I just wanted to point this out. Now, and same with Florida. He already took an official visit to Florida. He'll probably visit again because he's in the state of Florida. And there is no guarantee that you're going to land Will Norman. I've spoken about this before, but the simple fact that high-level players have already chosen Jackson State, and now even more at the high school level, not just via the transfer portal, but at the high school level are considering Jackson State, is good company to be in. Because the only way to land them is if they're considering your school. If they're not considering your school, you'll never land them. But the fact that they are now considering your school, you're not going to get them all. And some of them may even be using your name for clout. But the fact that some of them are considering your school, or a lot of them are considering your school, meaning you will land some of them. And Tim Brewster, the late addition that you made to the coaching staff, is playing a big role in making that happen. I love it, man. I love everything about it. Shout out to Will Norman. Hopefully, he could be potentially, we don't know, the next great player at Jackson State. We'll see. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Once again, my name is JeffLightsYJr with the Black Boss channel and Victory Formation. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, JeffLightsYJr. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, JeffLightsYJr. Also, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at JLightsy7. That is Instagram and Twitter at JLightsy7. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that thumbs up button on your way out, and I will see you next time. Peace.